Yo, so we back in here for another edition of F-ya-Motha, and I seen this article. I cover politics, so I figured why not talk about it. It says why Gen Z conservatives love the Reagan Bush tea. They go into a whole bunch of explanations. I'm just gonna summarize it. They're young racists in the making, as you see on this picture, which looks like a Latina on the far left, of course a white dude in the middle, and mom pants wearing ass white girl on the far right. Now, while these kids are 20 and 21 and 22, why they would be conservatives or even waving the flagship of Reagan Bush, which are probably, in my opinion, in the modern world, some of the most racist presidents we ever have. I'm not even gonna lean into Bush Senior. That's self-evident. I will go on Reaganomics. 1980 to 1985. Now they're wearing the shirt 1984. That was a re-election campaign, 84 to 88. Then subsequently, George Bush Senior was president from. Damn, when the fuck was he president? Am I getting old? I think I am. He was president from 1989 to 1993. So that would have been me. Yeah, still would have made Reagan's run from 1980 to 1984. Re-election was 1984 to 1980. Technically 1988, but you know, the campaign, and then he gets sworn in a year later. So, but he was president until 1988, technically. Until Bush Senior took over. Now, the reason he was racist, because Reaganomics stressed the trickle-down effect or theory, which was the rich, the more money the rich make, that the money would trickle down to the poor. That never happened. The crack cocaine eras spewed in or blew up in 1985, 86. Right, that's when freebase crack cocaine became popularized in the mainstream on the streets. Kingpins were at their height, I want to say between 86 and 89, which the CIA has admitted to flooding into the streets of America via Oliver North through the operative Blandone that got Freeway Rick Ross incarcerated for trafficking cocaine on the West Coast. The Iran-Contra scandal, which they sold weapons to Iran, took the proceeds to actually fund the Pepes down in Nicaragua so that they could overthrow the Nicaraguan government. So, yeah, there was no good that came out of Reaganomics or Reagan Bush era. The fact that these motherfuckers are 40 years late and trying to find some camaraderie in being a conservative, just wear a fucking Donald Trump and JD Vance shirt. It goes on to say that when Kieran Laffey attended George Washington University College Republican event, he often wears his Reagan Bush 84 t-shirt. Other members make the same fashion choice. Students wear them at debates and events with speakers, says Laffey, an incoming senior and club chairman. Laffey bought his online in 2020. We were just in some kind of turbulent times, he says. A high school sophomore then, he says fellow students and teachers were more liberal. It turned almost into a rebellion act to have those right-leaning views. And I thought, you know, owning a t-shirt like the Reagan Bush in 84, one of a kind, as a cool way to join the movement of the anti-establishment younger generation of conservatives. Now, let me just put this out in the air. If you're a Democrat, Republican, none of those parties have been anti-establishment for a long time. You'd be better off being an independent voter or a socialist voter and say that you're anti-establishment. The Democrats are the establishment when they're in power because they pander to the corporatists. And same thing with the Same thing with the GOP party, the right wing. They're not anti-establishment. They are the establishment, like, because they cater once again to the corporatist and conservative corporations, the conservative voter. Like, none of their views are anti-establishment. You can say that, you can make the argument that the right is anti-establishment in the sense that they want smaller government, right? All that just means is they don't want to assist people like the elderly, disabled, and disenfranchised people with social welfare programs, shit like that. But they're still the establishment. They're not anti-establishment in none of their views. They pull back money and funding because they cite it as overspenditures, which it may or may not be in some cases. I know sending $1.5 million over to Iraq for Sesame Street, like the Democrats was doing, probably could be cut. Right? I'm not against that. You could probably do away with trans experimental programs in India that the Democrats were funding. The U.S. AIDS or U.S. aid fund that they were funding multiple countries for frivolous shit. I could get behind that. But let's not get it twisted like the GOP is anti-establishment. He's severely confused. But you see the picture of them, I mean, that's to be expected. It also says the teas have led to some friendships because once you see someone wearing the same shirt as you, it's an easy indicator that you might get along. Yeah, or that you're, racist and racist views. Whether genuine, vintage, or newly manufactured to look retro. The red, white, and blue shirts with the classic serified font Regan Bush 84 logo has been a mainstay for more than a decade, even as Republican Party itself is undergoing galloping shifts. Think of it as the conservative take on a brand shirt or the once ubiquitous Che Guevara tee. They represent a moment of dominance for the GOP. Yeah, white supremacy and racial dominance. That's when recession was high as shit. The cost of living was high. Violence in America was at an all-time high. Hell, the cocaine cowboys in South Miami actually spawned from this era of presidency due to the rise of traffic cocaine within America. So there was nothing good about this era. Diversity was at an all-time low. Disenfranchised and minority people were oppressed at the highest degree, even more so than they are now. Hell, I got reason to believe that unlike now, there weren't any body cameras. Brown and black people probably was gunned down and their shit was not even publicized, wasn't even sensationalized or even brung attention to in the 80s. What else? It also goes to say, it's really iconic. The 24-year-old campaign's chairman for the New York. Well, hold up, my bad. Let me redo that again. It said, it's really iconic, says Mario Nicoletti, the 24-year-old campaign's chairman for the New York Young Republicans Club. It's like the MAGA hat of the 1980s. Even some new MAGA gear riffs on the logo, replacing the last name of the 84 candidates with Trump and Vance. The tees are available for $24.95 through the Regan Foundation. Why they're still operating, I won't know. He's been dead for almost 25 years, which declined to comment for the story. People can also purchase knockoffs through a heap of online retailers, kind of like buying faux vintage concert tees at a big box store. The Trump gear has continued to grow in popularity as the Republican Party has become remade in his image. Still, the Reagan Bush 84 shirts abide. I've seen a lot of Generation Z wearing that merch, says Carolyn Downey, the editor-in-chief of Conservative Lifestyle and Fashion Brand and Conservator. I think it's because of nostalgia. It's very valuable currency to them, especially in an era where things maybe were simpler or maybe weren't as contentious. So basically they're wearing the shit because, right, they're trying to be cool out of popularity. of the GOP being in office as of now, right? Taking dominance of, I think, the House and the Senate. But basically, to sum it up, they're just young dummies that want to feel cool. And don't get me wrong, like, the left looks pretty fucking crazy out here, especially when you had drunk ass cackling Kamala Harris and Sleepy Joe in the White House. Shit looked all messed up, right? They had situations where they were literally point blank asking Democratic candidates or Democratic politicians, did they think that a man is a man and a woman is a woman, to the point where they couldn't even answer the question. They would literally ask straight point blank. I think it was damn, I forgot the fuck her name is. The chick that's a Democratic, she's a congresswoman of, I think, Texas, something Crockett. I'm seeing Jasmine Crockett. They asked her what was a woman. She didn't even know, and she's a woman. They asked Tim Walz, what is a woman? He didn't know. He even thought and went so far as to say that he believes that they should put ladies tampons in men's bathroom, or ladies tampons in the men's bathroom. So, like, you can't trust these fucking people. They had like a haywire way of thinking. So I can understand how this young man, this white girl, or even this, I think, Mexican, sided with the right wing, because the right wing was more rooted in sanity. Shit made sense. They didn't mince words. They got their point across, and they let it be known, like, none of this silly shit is going to be going on once we're in the office. I think Donald Trump even made a decree that there are only two genders in America, which that shouldn't actually have been news. That should have been a matter of simple science. But never let nothing like logic get in the way of a good scam. In any event, if y'all like this episode, you got comments, leave them in the comment section. Also, hit the like button. If you in here, you ain't doing shit, you might as well. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, hit the dislike button. Do something. Don't just leave a comment and troll. Also, share the content if you like it. And I'm out.